We're supposed to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Oh, we're supposed to do the countdown?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What's going on, everybody? We are Twin Flames Unite, and we are at it again today. Once again, if y'all caught our live early this morning, please forgive our tardiness.
I know.
Please forgive us. Please don't. What they say? Don't charge it to our heart.
Yeah, don't charge it to our heart.
Oh boy. Today, if you have seen the thumbnail, we about to touch onto some stuff.
SMH.
Okay, and so we're gonna give a little disclaimer.
Okay.
Because we are going to be talking about the church.
Yes.
Today.
The church.
So, if you're not, what's up? If you are not at a place where you can be open to receive some information,
right,
and digest it yourself, because we're going to be revealing some stuff that you may or may not be aware of.
And guys, I was finding this stuff too, and I had to take breaks in between to really try to make sense of nonsense. And you all know you can't make sense of nonsense.
Yeah.
So this is what this is pretty much.
So if this doesn't vibe with you, you can go ahead, you can exit out the video. We won't feel bad.
We love you.
We love you always. Okay.
Okay. But it's going to spark something, and it's going to make you do some research in any event.
Yeah. And so for those of you all who are watching, if you have anything to write with, because we're going to be giving out some valuable information, especially if you live in the U.S. I know we got some people out in different countries, stuff like that, so things may not exactly be the same.
Right, but it's similar. It's similar.
It's very similar.
Because it's the same NWO that's running this, these streets.
Oh, we got
What's up,
Honeydew in the
Marshawn?
place.
It's Honeydew. Where Marshawn at? Where my girl?
Oh, she'll probably be in.
Honeydew with Marshawn.
Yeah. Oh, somebody told me they left the church 7 years ago.
Oh, that's a very important number right there. 7. You know what that 7 is?
So,
we got to do to bring the broom.
Yo. So, y'all bring your broom.
Cause it's a mess. We playing that one.
Okay.
We about to clean up these streets.
Now, but before we dive into this, I have to give you all a little bit of background on what's going on, because if y'all remember a few videos back, we were talking about some stuff that's really being hidden in plain sight when it comes to our government, when it comes to a lot of involvement and things of that nature, and some things that are really infringing upon our unalienable rights. Yes,
natural rights, rights. We are born free, first of all.
Yeah, rights.
It's our birthright to be free.
Yes, it is your birthright to be free. You have the right to govern your own mental.
Right. Government.
So, in light of that, I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of research into law.
Right.
Okay. One thing you have to understand when you're looking at law, you have to learn to speak the language. Okay. Yeah. And when it comes to law, you cannot go to Webster's on the first go around to figure out what a word means.
That's the last place that they go to. Got to learn the legalese.
Okay. So, so just know that when lawyers are looking at stuff that's in contracts or any type of laws, any type of statutes, stuff like that, first they go to Black Law's Dictionary. Okay. Well, actually, double back, because sometimes in the statutes or the laws, they define what the term is in that law or that statute. But if the definition is not in there, then they go to Black Law's Dictionary.
That's the second step.
If it's not in Black Law's Dictionary, there's one other reference that they go to, and then if it's not in there, then they go to Webster's.
That's the last thing they look in, and if 99.9% of the time, like Lysol, they might not even use it.
Okay. So, with that being said, I came across some information that pertains to the church.
Boy.
Now, before we go into this, another disclaimer. This is not information that's trying to bash Christians.
Not at all. Not in anything. It's to help them.
Because there are good people that are out there
Right.
that are doing the Lord's work.
Right. I
Right.
mean, just,
They
hey,
out there trying to help people better their lives,
Right.
and we commend those people. We look up to those type of
Right.
people that are actually out in these streets,
Right.
helping people. But the organization itself is where we have an issue.
Right, a big issue because it's literally infringing on people's rights, and they probably don't even know it. But and if they do, shame on you.
Okay. So, with that disclaimer in there, we got about 20 some people, so everybody's on notice.
Y'all on notice.
We are not here to attack you. We're not here to attack your beliefs.
Right.
But just shed some light on some things that are going on in the United Snakes of America.
And wherever else. It's just to help you to question stuff, to ask more questions, and to really get clarification so you can be whole and healthy and know how to literally navigate this matrix.
Gotcha. Okay. So, in light of that, let's get into it.
Let's dive deep.
Okay. So, for most churches, everybody is aware that most churches get a 501c3. And please take note that I'm being very careful with my words.
Gotta be. You have to be.
Okay. So most churches get a 501c3 so that they can operate in this matrix.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you look at that, you have to look at it from both a spiritual aspect and a legal aspect.
You really do. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a business. That's what it is. That's how it's defined. And if anybody knows, it's me, because that's what I deal with every day. So it's not like, it's not. You look at it as a church, as a holy place, and all of this stuff, and that's nice. But in the matrix, it's a business.
Yeah. So let's look into some. Now, forgive me because I have some notes down here and I got some stuff written down that we're gonna dive into.
Right.
So first of all, we're gonna look into what a church is. Okay. We're gonna look into what it means by a religious aspect, and then also what it means in a legal sense. Okay.
And how the two correlates.
Right. Let me see. I just lost my place. Not that. Okay. First of all,
We should first give the definition of what a church is.
okay. So, where is? I lost my spot. Forgive me, y'all. I just lost my spot. Where it actually started.
Oh, you gonna start it down there?
Okay. So the church, when it comes to its establishment, when we're talking about Matthew 16:18, we're talking about 1 Corinthians 12, chapter 14, 27, Ephesians 1:22, we're talking about Colossians 1:18, 2:19 teaches that Christ is clearly the head of the church, and that we are all members of his body.
Right.
But the church is the visible manifestation of Christ's kingdom on earth. However, as Jesus stated himself, my kingdom is not of this world. John 18:36. Many Christians have misunderstood this version to mean that neither church nor individual Christians should involve themselves with the affairs of the world. In what is known as pietism, I was stumbling over that word earlier. A false dichotomy is erected between spiritual kingdom and the carnal world.
Right.
So when it comes to what the original faith is intended on, it is intended to keep separate the spiritual and the carnal.
Exactly. Church and government,
But as we will soon see, that is not the case.
It is far from it.
Okay. So when we look at that, that's pretty much what we're trying to get here. What's the other thing? Okay, so the true meaning of Jesus' declaration that his kingdom is not of this world, it is that it does not derive its authorities and power from the world or its institutions.
Now, just listen up. This is a key thing right here. Read that again, baby.
Okay. So the true meaning of Jesus' declaration that his kingdom is not on this world, it is that it derives its authority and power from the world. It does not derive its authority and power from the world or its institutions.
Which means like AKA government, you know.
Okay. And the church is indeed a spiritual organization, but this simply means that it is of the Spirit. It relies upon the Holy Spirit and the inspired word of its existence, not upon the efforts or the laws of men.
Keep that in mind.
Okay? So everything is supposed to be led by the Spirit. It's supposed to be led by the Creator, which is God, Lord,
Right.
higher self, whatever you consider that to be. But the more this important detail should be kept in mind while we're looking through all of this. Okay? Now, when we
some terminologies here.
yeah, we're about to break down some terminology. Like I said, I hope you have notepads and stuff like that to take notes, because we're gonna dive into it.
Yeah, and do your own research. Don't
Yes.
excuse me, we're live. Don't take our word for it, guys. We're gonna give you these nuggets, and you're gonna go out and you're gonna do your own diligent research. Do your own due diligence, and you're probably gonna stumble upon way more, depending on how far you want to go down this rabbit hole.
Right. Okay. So now, once again, we have to keep in mind that when we're talking about the religious part, there are certain things from the religion that's kept separate, and then the carnal thing that's made separate.
Right.
So we're going to look into the sovereign meaning of a corporation. Okay. And just stick with us. I promise you, when we get to the end,
bring it all together.
It's gonna come all together. So, the definition of a corporation is a creature of the state. It is presumed to be incorporated for the benefit of the public. It receives certain special privileges and franchises and holds themselves subject to the laws of the state and the limitation of its charter.
Remember that part, okay?
Okay?
Remember that.
And its powers are limited by law.
Man's law.
It can make no contract not authorized by its charter. Its rights to act as a corporation are only preserved to it so long as it obeys the laws of its creation. So that's one definition of a corporation when we're talking about like Webster's definition of a corporation. Okay? And so the next definition of a corporation is an artificial person or legal entity created by or under the authority of the laws of the state. So, I mean, just looking at this from a Webster's point of view, a corporation is only something that can be created by the state. It's not something that's created by God.
Okay, or
Yes. So, in note, a corporation is created by and derives its existence from the state. In contrast, the church is created by, a creator of, and derives its existence from, subject to, and obeys the laws of Jesus Christ.
right?
So, if so,
You see the conflict here
corporations-
right now.
yeah, corporations when they are formed get their powers from the state, but the state didn't create us. Just going into that.
All right, hold on now, hold
Okay.
on.
Let me go into this
Can't serve two masters now. You can't. You got to choose something. You can't serve both.
Yeah, because God teaches that Christians, His church, are citizens of the house of God. Okay, this is part of the reason why a lot of us are leaving church, because we understand that the house of God is in us. We don't have to have a building in order to assemble. But I digress. Let me get into this. So now this is the part that got me when it comes to a corporation. In the instance of nonprofit corporations, in instance of nonprofit corporations are educational institutes, athletic clubs, library clubs, fraternities, sororities, hospitals, and organizations which have exclusively a charitable purpose.
What kind of purpose they have, baby?
A charitable purpose.
Exclusively, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So you'll notice that when I just said that, churches
were not mentioned. It wasn't in there.
And actually, I have when you look into these things, you have to look into the legal definition. I'm talking about laws here. And a lot of this information came from like Black Laws Dictionary. It came from Smith and Robertson's Business Law. Especially that one was published, Western Published Company, 1966, page 789. Okay, so in order to understand how these things are operating, you have to understand both sides. You have to understand the spiritual side, and you have to understand the carnal side.
Exactly.
Okay, and this is just to let you know what you're dealing with, and probably why you don't feel right if you're in church. Okay, I'm just saying.
What you saying?
So I lost my place. Okay. Now, the reason why you didn't hear me say anything about the churches in that is that because our lawmakers are fully aware that incorporation involves creation, and the church simply cannot be created by the state. Furthermore, churches' ordained purpose of preaching the gospel can never be illegal, so no special license is required from the state to do so.
Okay? All right now. So we have a lot of conflicting.
I mean, just give us a yes or a thumbs up to let us know
a lot of conflicting stuff here.
This is definitely one that you may have to go back through and rewatch, and listen and take notes. But just look at this, because when we go back to the Bill of Rights, it clearly states in the Bill of Rights that Congress shall make no law regarding an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
And what do they do? And what do they do? The complete opposite. The complete opposite.
Yeah. Okay. So why is this? Now for a lot of churches, they have their 501c3. Okay. And if y'all have watched our channel for a while, and please forgive if I'm talking a lot this time. Please forgive me, baby, if I'm talking.
No, you go with it. Listen, go. Because, I'm here. I'm right here talking too.
Like this is some stuff that I've actually been like searching into.
Right.
And in the moment, I'm about to start giving y'all some codes. Wow.
So you can write down some codes, guys. Codes. Codes to the matrix. We're teaching you how to break the codes to the matrix, because this is all this is. This is just codes that's in the matrix that you got to know how to navigate. Because if you don't know, the people would suffer for a lack of knowledge. And you know, when they say that one term with the root of all evil is the love of money, he's gonna break it down to show you how that plays out. Money is not evil.
No.
It's the love of money, and this is a trap for these churches because it's just the money.
Okay, now here's the juicy part. Okay, why do churches? Well, actually, let me back this up. Is a church required to incorporate under the government? I'm waiting. Go. I'm waiting. Yeah. So okay, so we're about to answer this question. Okay, now this is according to the Internal Revenue Code. Okay, and I'm gonna give y'all the code to research yourself.
So you can see we're not lying. It's right
Okay,
here.
it's plain as day. Okay, according to the Internal Revenue Code, a church is integrated auxiliaries and conventions and associations of the church are excluded from taxation.
What is it excluded from?
It says that the church are excluded from taxation, and just so you can look this up yourself, under United States Code Title 26, Section 508C 1A. Once again, there's United States Code Title 26, 508C 1A.
Go get that to your pastor. If you got a pastor, let him look that code up.
Now, Section 508C of the Internal Revenue Code provides that churches are not. Section 508C of the Internal Revenue Code provides that churches are not required to apply for recognition of 501c3 status in order to be exempt from federal taxation or to receive tax-deductible contributions. Churches are automatically exempt from federal income, and the contributions to churches are deductible by donors under Section 170.
So that's a trick. They lying. They are lying to these people.
So why would churches get a 501c3?
I wonder what's the incentive.
What is the incentive?
I'm curious, baby. Let's keep reading. Why? I wonder why.
Come
on now. Why would they? If you
okay,
let's go and see.
Just a little bit further. Elsewhere, the IRS states, although a church is integrated auxiliaries or a convention of churches is not required to file Form 1023 to be exempt from federal income taxes or to receive taxable contributions, such organizations may find it advantageous to obtain recognition of exemption just for the advantage of, just for the advantage the church obtain the 501c3 recognition and thereby exchanging its sovereignty.
Did you hear what they did? They sold their soul.
They're exchanging their sovereignty. Okay, now this part it's a little bit technical, but I'm gonna break it down a little bit simple for you, okay?
It's too much, baby.
And I'm gonna give you some information to back this up in just a second.
Why would you exchange your sovereignty?
The 501c3, it's almost like an assurance, not insurance, but an assurance to people that when they make donations to a church that they can deduct it when they file their taxes.
Right.
Okay. But let me fill you in on this. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna read this other part. Most people would answer that such grants having a 501c3 the church exemption from taxation. However, we have already seen that the federal government has never been able to tax the Church of Christ. The church is not exempt from taxation.
It is immune.
It is immune.
Immune. That's better than exemption.
Okay. So, and this is coming from the IRS.
We ain't making none of this stuff up. Y'all can go look it up yourself.
You can look up the codes. You can look it up yourself. But in this section, this is from the IRS tax exemption status for your organization. It's publication 577. Okay?
No, 557.
Oh, 557. Okay, sorry. But by establishing its exemption, potential contributors are assumed that the service that contributes will be deductible. So that's what they're saying. That's what the IRS is saying, that because these people have a 501c3, we are led to believe that our donations can then be tax deductions. But here's the thing. You can still donate to a church if they're not a 501c3, and you can still claim the tax deductions.
You could still do it because they're immune.
So churches are automatically immune. They don't have to have a 501c3.
And what's the reason behind them? You got to say what's the reason behind them wanting them to file a 501c3? What's the main big reason why the government wants them to think that, they have to file a 501c3? It goes all back to control.
Yeah, it all goes back to control. But let's see, the treasure irony. Okay, now here's the part. Now this is the proof. Once again, if you have something to write with, write this down. That the church does not have to be a 501c3 in order for you to have a tax deductible thing. Okay?
Right.
Okay, so the tragic irony of it all is that according to the Internal Revenue Code, financial donations to an unregistered, unincorporated church, a church that has not filed a 501c3, are automatically tax deductible.
Boom.
That's 26 26 USC 170-B.
Write it down. Write that down. Give it to your pastor.
26 USC 170-B. If you look that up in the Internal Revenue Code, it will say even a church that is not a 501c3 and you give your money to that church, you can still claim it on your taxes.
Exactly, because when you operate it under that 501c3, you're limited as to how you can serve the God that's in the Bible. Right. Just so you know. And you can't serve two masters. So if you really want to be out here doing your work and really doing what you're supposed to be doing, then if you have a 501c3, you're not going to be able to do it because you're going to be controlled.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. When these churches incorporate, they are taking their orders not from God, but from the state in which they reside.
Yep.
And when you look into everything that's going on that's connected to the churches, you assume, if you follow the money trail, you'll understand why a lot of these churches get a 501c3. Because when now this is something that I have to research myself, but this is the hunch that I got, because when people claim their tithes under a 501c3, they get the IRS takes 35% and you get the rest. Right? Now I have a sneaky suspicion that if the church wasn't a 501c3 and you made a donation to it, you can actually get back all of the money that you donated.
Ooh. We're gonna research on that a little bit more.
But see, that wouldn't be beneficial for the IRS, and it wouldn't be beneficial to your pastor, because a lot of these churches get funding because they're 501c3.
Yep.
Because it's just a lie that has been told over
and over again.
And over and over again.
And you know what happens when you tell a lie so many times, right?
You believe it.
You start believing it. Because it's going into you. That's how you get stuff into your subconscious. You keep repeating something, you keep repeating it, eventually it gets stored in your subconscious mind.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing that, and I honestly believe that most churches go into this and they are unaware until the strings get pulled. Because when you're under a 501c3, when you have a corporation, you're being controlled by the state. You have limited powers. You don't have full powers to do and say what you want to say. You can't go in there and talk about politics. You can't go in there and talk about homosexuality. You can't talk about abortions. And if you live in Alabama, you are freaking livid right now that they made it illegal to have an abortion. Thank you, Kay Ivey.
Yeah, you can't do a lot of stuff. And if you do, your funding will cut. And that nice, beautiful house, they live on the top of the hill, mortgage got to get paid. So it's like, it's kind of a bait, and now you're trapped.
Yeah. So that's what's going on in the church. Now, excluding individuals, because once again, we know that there are people that are in these
Right.
churches that are trying to do some good for the people.
They really are.
But when you look at it, the church is an organization.
It's a business at the end of the day.
It is a business.
It's a business. It's not
Now,
meant to be.
Tell them what you get. Now you can't tell where you work.
Talk my business.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you know what? I'll say it myself because I used to work for a bank. Okay, and it is so funny when you have a pastor call up and say, a pastor call up and ask you why his credit card is not working, and y'all know when you call in customer service, you have to verify yourself.
Of course.
And he's calling in on the business account for the church. And so we have to ask him, okay, well, I'll be more than happy to see what's going on with your credit card. Would you be able to give me the EIN for the business and your position? It's like, I don't know the EIN, but I'm the pastor. I was like, no, sir. I'm sorry. The pastor is not a position in this business, in this corporation. You have to either be the president, the vice president, or the treasurer. Which one are you?
Oh boy. Yep. If you ain't give it, you can't. How you gonna help? And that's how you know.
Yeah. And just to let you know, these tithes, because some of these pastors are calling in wondering why their cars don't work at the hotel.
Oh, baby, you gonna touch? Let me light sister. you gonna be touching on nerves right now. Let me put some sage up on the screen and the get sage up there.
You got Sister Shirley calling in, wondering why the credit card's not going through for the vacation they're trying to set up for pastor.
Hold on, man. Let's just.
Oh
my God.
You gotta understand, and like these are phone calls that I've taken personally myself.
Ain't no joke, guys. This is real stuff.
It is not a joke. Your tithes are going towards the building fund, the building of going on vacations, the building of paying for hotels that nobody don't want them to know that they at.
Yeah, you got to think about it. So you got to pray for your rent. You really got to start using your brain now. That's why we all have something up here. We got to start using it. You have to pray, okay, with Sister Shirley and Brother Mike. Yeah, all three of y'all got to gather together and pray for the rent to come in, okay?
Yeah.
But who's paying the other people's rent? Are they gathering together to get the money? No, they're not gathering together to get the money. But when you want money, you have to still faithfully pay your tithe, right? And then you still have to go pray for your rent. So after a while, you really gotta come on. We gotta wake up.
Yeah, and and see, now is the time. If people that call themselves Christians, the pastors, the deacons on the board, everybody that's on the board, if they are really about doing God's work and making this world a better place, I say you go to your pastor and tell them to renounce their 501c3 so that they won't have any restrictions on what they can and cannot say.
See, you trying to start trouble.
I mean,
they ain't gonna do that, baby.
I mean, like now, I haven't been in a physical church building in almost 2 years, but I know who God is.
Right, you don't need. Let me read what a church. Let's read the definition of a church, just for it, right? Okay, in this article, the word church. Okay, everybody think a church is a building. A church is not a building. It has nothing to do with a building. A building is a building. It got two different names for a reason. Okay, so the word church, it does not refer to any physical building. And I think this is the thing that gets people so confused and caught up with this whole church propaganda thing. But it refers to the whole body. Look, this is the church.
Your body.
This is the church.
Your body.
Okay? And if you're Christian, believing in Christ, in a Christ consciousness, that's church.
Yeah.
Not the building.
It's not a building.
Okay? Church is translated from the Greek word ecclesia, E-K-K, you can look it up. E-K-K-L-E-S-I-A, which literally means assembly or congregation of people. So it's not the building, guys. It does not refer to any physical building. Always remember that. The church is, you are the church.
And think about this. Have you all, if I missed it, let me know. Tell me what scripture, what chapter is in. But I never heard anybody say that the church has to be incorporated and that a president, vice president, treasury be appointed.
And if it's incorporated, that means it's created. Remember, when you have a corporation is something that's created by the state. We already discovered that. And then we already discovered that the state can't create a church. It cannot create a church. We already discovered that. So come on.
Because a church is an assembly of people. How can the state create that?
You ever seen the state create people? They cannot. It's impossible. They are fooling people in these streets. Money. They are fooling people. The foolery. And you know, it's really, I got really emotional when I started reading this because I'm like, okay, if the state can't create a church, they found a way around it. They created a corporation and they fool these people to have them to sign up for the 501c3 because they're thinking that they don't have a choice. So it's like they voluntarily doing it out of ignorance.
That's actually the whole thing. Because, okay, when you go to the First Amendment, when you look at the Bill of Rights, they have no authority over churches. None authority. None. They cannot tax them. They cannot make them follow certain laws. The only laws that churches can follow are the laws of God.
That's
it. The
it.
natural laws. If it's not a natural law, the church is immune from it.
Including taxes. They tricking these people. Tricking them.
Yeah. And so, like I said, some of these pastors, they know what's up.
Some of them know.
Some of them
know. And some of them they really don't know.
Cleflo Dollar.
What? Said something in your throat, baby?
I think it's that Cleflo Dollar. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
Oh my gosh.
And because he knows what's up, they're feeding money to him, buying him jets to keep him quiet.
Oh my gosh. This is
or
not
either
cool.
He's in fear of his life because if he actually told what was going on,
he might be in trouble. And that's another story.
Yeah.
That's another live.
That's
but guys, you have rights. We want everybody to know that they have rights. You guys have a right to be free. If you have a church, you have your congregation, you guys have a right, okay, to follow the laws of the land, the natural laws of the Almighty Creator. You have your right to do so without any monster creature imposing on your rights to do so and tricking you. This is all trickery.
Yeah.
Okay, to get you to feed the beasts, to keep feeding the beasts so they can grow and get bigger. So just listen, for a lack of knowledge, the people would suffer. Okay?
Exactly.
For a lack of knowledge, the people would suffer. Everything is right there in front of us. We just have to read it. We have to research. We have to find these things. They're right there.
You have to read. So I know the tax codes are boring as
and and long.
I mean, don't nobody want to sit there and read code and see that. But let me tell you this: when you start reading the code and you start reading it from a legal perspective, get you all a copy of Black Law's Dictionary.
You need it, man.
You can download it for free. Get the PDF, and when you start reading words that are in legal documents, for example, the Declaration of Independence. The words that are in the Declaration of Independence are not what you think they are.
They're not totally
the
not.
definitions of Webster.
Webster's for just the foolishness. Like that's just for regular mundane talk.
The U.S. Constitution, you need to have a Black Law's Dictionary with you as you read it, because the words that you think you know the definitions to, they are not the definitions.
They're not the words, and that's where people get confused and they get tripped up because they want to take those little fool words and you take it into the house of the witch, the big witch house. Yeah. And then they have their spells. They have their spells in the courthouse, whatever you want to call it. Yep. Witch house, courthouse, same thing. And so you have to know how to cast your spells, because once you go into that house, spells are being cast upon you. And if you don't know that they're casting the spells upon you, how are you going to repel it?
Yes. And to give y'all a little inside secret, the Declaration is a protection spell against the government. But you have to know how to read it.
You gotta know, guys. You gotta know this whole thing is a freaking spell. Pen, the pen, the stroke.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
The stroke of the pen. How do they send you to prison? The pen, the penitentiary, the pen. What do you pen?
Come on now.
Okay, that's how they do it. That's how they write their spells, with the pen. They spell. They send you to school. So the first thing you got to learn when you go to school is you got to learn how to spell.
Yeah, and also think about this. When you are referencing a corporation, when you're looking at it in writing, you'll notice that it's not grammatically correct. Because whenever you look at the word for a corporation, it's in all caps.
Tell them about the all caps and the low caps, baby.
Now, when you look at stuff in the all caps, you're talking about a fictitious entity. It's not real. It's not something you can touch when it's in all caps. Now, when it's in its proper grammar, when you have your uppercase and lowercase, you're talking about a physical,
not a person.
And it's fun because I've been looking into the Black Laws Dictionary, and when it comes to a person, when you look at the legal definition of a person, it's still a corporation. It's an entity. It's not a human, a living man or woman. That's what I'm I have to start saying, because we are living men and women walking on land. We are not persons. You are not a person.
Right, persona. We gotta we gotta learn how to really get these words, these spells, so we're not casting it on ourselves.
Right.
You know, we really gotta learn what we're saying and be conscious of what we're saying. And I want to leave this one last line for my fellow Christians, Brother Shirley and Sister Shirley and Brother Mike. Listen to this. Miss Bernice, listen to this, okay?
Yes, dead entities are all caps, exactly.
There you go, corpse.
That's
okay?
A dead entity.
Dead entity, corpse, corporation. Okay, listen to this, Miss Shirley and Brother Mike. I got something to tell you, okay? You can't serve two masters, okay? So if you have a church and it's incorporated and you have a 501c3, I want you to listen to this. The truth is, Sister Shirley and Brother Mike, any church that is incorporated, okay, has deposed Jesus Christ. Deposed, okay? Meaning you move him, you lower him from his rightful position as head over his own body, and has surrendered that body to the dominion of the state that created it. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it, Sister Shirley and Brother Mike. Drop the mic. So you can't serve two masters. You got to choose.
Yeah, but see, and this is why we wanted to make this video, because a lot of people are not aware of the fact of what's going on. They think that they're serving one master.
They're not.
You're not serving one master. If you are going to a church and it is incorporated, if it has a 501c3, you are serving the state.
Y'all don't know. Y'all don't want to know who y'all really. That's who y'all be running from. Okay, I'm not gonna name the name, but that's what y'all be running from every day and blaming him for everything. But you're serving him and you don't even know it, or her, whatever.
Yeah, you are serving a fictitious entity. Now, of course, this doesn't go to your personal actions.
No, we're not talking about that.
No,
we're not talking about that.
We want to reiterate
that
this is not an attack on the people who are out there
truly
doing the work, who
doing
are doing
their work and really in their heart of hearts.
But you have to know who you're associating with, because if you hang around 5 deadbeats, you're liable to be the 6th one.
The 5 people that you surround yourself with, that's who you are. Okay? So just know this.
So yeah, this is just some information that we wanted to share. Please forgive us if we didn't really look through the comments. Hopefully nobody was saying anything crazy. hopefully, Honeydew.
We didn't even see the comments.
We hadn't seen any.
We
of the
just wanted to
comments.
get this information
Yeah.
out there so you guys can start going on your own journey, and you can start really doing some research, digging into these codes of these matrix, so
Yeah.
you can start making, good and educated decisions that's going to really better you to become your
Right.
highest and best self. This
Yeah.
is what this is about, because the truth is not pretty. The truth is not pretty. That's why people run from it, because it's not pretty. It's not always pretty. And the truth is a hard pill to swallow. That's why, they got the blue and the red pill. It's hard to take in when when it goes against everything that you were ever taught. But you got to unlearn and relearn, because all these programs that they put into our subconscious and our ancestry line, it's time to deprogram and get all of that stuff out. We got to come again, and this time we're gonna rise.
And if y'all are in the spiritual community and conspiracy theory stuff, you hear so much that everybody's waiting for the full disclosure to come out and just tell the truth about everything that's been going on. Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, full disclosure happened the day that they started the whole system. Because everything is in plain writing. Well, actually, I take that back. Everything is in writing, and everything is in it's not English. It is God, I just forgot. What's the other word for pig Latin? D something. I can't remember what it is. But the literally the writing is on the wall. All the disclosure that you ever needed is in the books.
It's here and it's now, and it's just waiting for you to pick it up.
You just have to know how to decode it, and in order to decode it, you need some tools in order to do so. One being a Black Laws Dictionary.
That's going to be your best friend.
Okay, because when you start reading like the Constitution, I so encourage you, go back through and read the U.S. Constitution. You're going to start to notice that when you read it, that there are certain words that are capitalized in the middle of a sentence.
Why?
It's capitalized in the middle of a sentence because it has a different meaning.
The big U.S. and the small U.S. is not the same guys.
It's not even that. It's even, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember one that I was reading. Like, it was just like a regular sentence. Like, just for example, like this sentence here, church members should confront their pastors. Oh, wow.
We didn't mean like it was just
on this issue. On
this issue, okay.
Now just imagine that the word pastor, which is in the middle of this sentence, is capitalized
in uppercase.
Like the first P is capitalized. That's to tell you that word means something different than what you normally know. So go back through, look at your U.S. Constitution, reread. Actually, you know what?
And it's there to confuse you too. It's purposefully there to confuse you.
Before we get out, I want y'all to reread the 14th Amendment.
Please, guys, please.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Man, I was in college. I told my baby to tell you this quick story when I was in college.
You tell your story while I pull this
And we were going this business. What is it? Law 101, one of those things. And my professor was going through all the amendments. So he was going through all the amendments. So I'm excited because I already know what the 14th one means, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for him to touch on the 14. He's at number 13, and I'm like, yeah, I'm up in my seat now. I'm ready to listen. Why he gonna skip it? I'm like, wait, I'm like, Professor, you just gonna act like that's not there? Like you just gonna skip over the 14th Amendment? Like, it's not black and white right in front of you? He's like, oh, we're running out of time. So I'm like, no, you're not gonna run out of time. No, you're not. You're gonna read the 14th Amendment like you read all of those and you went through each one of them. You're gonna read that 14th Amendment. And he looked at me and he was kind of confused, like, what does she know about the 14th? Yeah, I know about the 14th Amendment. I know that you guys passed to abolish slavery under the 14th Amendment. The whole, the homosexuals could get married under the 14th Amendment. That 14th Amendment it's really, it's not nothing real. They could change it if they want to at any time. They can alter it if they want to. If they decide that, you know what, we missed the good old days. We missed the good old days when they had slavery. Let's bring it back. They could do that under the 14th Amendment. They can amend it if they want to. So you this place, man. Sometimes
Yeah, I'm almost there.
I get emotional. You know, I get a little bit emotional when I think about how this system is upside down and how they have people fooled. And it's really even more upsetting because everything is in front of us. Everything, the signs, the symbols, the flags, you know, when you see a eagle flying over a flag, it symbolizes something. Everything is symbolic. It's all symbolic. It means something.
Not by chance.
It's not by chance. And if you don't know, you just don't know. And they always say ignorance is no excuse to the law. So just because you don't know, you're probably not going to be forgiven, right? So it's really, really crucial that we take this time and we really start waking up and really start paying attention. Waking up means paying attention, right? Where are you paying your attention to? Your currency, where is it going to? Where is your attention going to? Because your attention is money, right? It's a different currency. So where is it going? Put your attention to really wake you up so you can know how to maneuver in this matrix, because you don't want to get trapped. You want to know the codes to the matrix. You want to learn how to decode, how to debunk the matrix. And it's everywhere. You know, people go to church and they go there and they're hoping to find God. And they're looking in the skies for God. And they will never tell you that God is in here. Here, not in the sky. They ain't going to tell you that.
Okay. So, I got that definition pulled up, and I'm going to pull up the 14th Amendment. That shouldn't take too long for me to pull up.
That was quick. You see how fast he worked? No, he's not playing. We doing real stuff in these streets, guys.
Okay. So, quick Constitution lesson here. Okay. So, the 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the states wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges and immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall the state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction equal protection of the law. Now, in understanding this, you have to understand the second word in this 14th Amendment, which is persons. Okay? Persons, when you think about persons, you think about me, Alicia,
just people.
You. But when you look into the Black Laws Dictionary, and right now I'm looking at the Black Laws Dictionary, 4th edition. I'm on page 11375, so 1,375. That's
a lot.
It's a lot. When you look at the legal definition, it has multiple meanings. So when you're looking at this and somebody's talking to you, you have to ask them, what type of person are you talking about? So the first definition on the Black Laws Dictionary, a person, a man considered according to the rank he holds in society with all the rights which the place he holds entitles him and the duties which it opposes. Okay. So a person is somebody who holds rank. Do you hold any type of rank?
Looks like rank has its privileges too.
Yeah. Next, the word in its natural and usual significance includes women as well as men. Commonwealth versus I don't know how to pronounce that name. But the term may include artificial beings as corporations.
Oh, this is the one that they make up.
This is the one that they make up. So when you see your name in all caps, and they say that this person is liable for this traffic ticket,
That's a straw man.
that's your straw man. That's the corporation that was created
By
the state.
Because again, they can't create churches.
And they can't create human beings.
They can't create human. We the church.
Yes. So, we strongly suggest that you do your research. Do not just come on here and
listen to us and believe us.
No,
Nah,
don't do that.
Don't believe. No, and it's a difference when you move from a state of believing, and this is why they preach this nonsense in wherever they at, talking about believe. Nonsense. We don't want to believe. We want to know.
Right.
I want to know. I'm fed up believing. That didn't work. Let's try something else. We tried the believing thing, and it's not going nowhere. We want to know. Knowledge is power.
Yes.
So don't take our word for it. You guys go and all those little nuggets that we gave you, go and do your own research and go dive real deep until you feel like you need to come up for some air.
Yeah. And so before we get out of here, the last thing I want to say is that you have rights that nobody can infringe on. You have the rights that were given to you by God.
Mm-hmm.
They are unalienable rights.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to pursue happiness, liberty, and whatever property you want to obtain.
In your 3 acres and a mule.
As long as you're not going out here hurting anybody, causing any harm, you are free to do whatever the hell you want to do.
Exactly. Bring harm to no one.
Claim your rights back.
Claim yourself back. Take yourself back. Merge yourself. Merge the straw man and the real man, and become one. And that's what this is all about. And people think that, doing integration in the spiritual part, that's cool. But you gotta do it. That's why you're here. Because if you was cool in the spirit world, you won't be here, boo boo.
No.
You won't be in this cell, in these blood cells. Okay, in this DNA. You won't be here if you were so cool in the spirit world. No. So you got work to do.
Yeah.
So and part of the work is integration, which is merging, taking back the straw man they created and keeping it. It's yours. It's you.
Yeah. And just a little secret. I don't know if it's too much of a secret. It's not a secret if you read. But
it's not a secret if you read.
Once you claim your rights, all of these constitutions, all of these statutes and stuff don't apply to you.
Should we tell them the difference between the big U.S. and the us and
I'm not going.
We're not going to say we can't say that. Y'all got to read it. Y'all read it for yourself. Y'all got. You can't say everything. They're gonna shut us down.
But if you do your research, you'll find out that the feds have no authority over you. The U.S. has no authority over you. There's a difference between the U.S. and the U.S. of A. There's a difference between the all caps United States
and the little one
and the proper way for United States. There's a difference between the United States of America and America of the United States. There's total difference, and it's set up to confuse the hell out of people, and I would give it to them. They did a fucking great job.
Hold on.
They did a hell of a job.
We apologize, but we got to clap because they did this
hell of a job in making it confusing.
Man, they got people fooled. And it's so sad because once you really realize and you wake up, it's like, are you kidding me? Like, these people have been doing this stuff for years and years, and they're getting away with it.
Yeah, it's time to stop the lie and bring the truth back to where it should be. It's time for balance.
Right.
It's time to put things back the way that it should be.
Right.
In which our Creator, our higher selves, our gods intended it to be from the day that we were thought of.
Right. Which is forever. Time to switch it around, get some balance back in these streets, man.
And I'm done.
I'm done. With that we done. We sorry if we got mad. We
Yeah.
didn't mean to get emotional.
I'm sorry, yeah,
but
this
you know,
is-
we just mad because of the unfairness and this injustice that's just going on in this world.
Yeah.
And it's time to stop. It's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
so we figured whatever information we learned, we're gonna share it with y'all. And if you have somebody
Yeah.
to share it with, share, because that's how changes take place.
Yeah. Share this with Sister Pearl. Share it with Deacon James.
What
Share
up?
it
What up, Deacon James? What up? What up, Sister Shirley? We love you.
You know, share it.
Yeah.
And let them know about
The 501c3. What we just
you
told
have
you.
discovered, that the church doesn't have to be a 501c3 for them to be tax exempt.
They don't.
They don't need it.
They don't have to worry about, you know, their funds being taken away and who's not going to get what. And don't worry about that stuff. Just do
No.
your work.
Yeah, because right now the 501c3 is keeping them clamped to the point where they can't do the work that they're supposed to be doing.
They can't.
Once they get free of that 501c3, they can say and do whatever they want to do because
Right.
the church is immune.
Immune, guys. Immune. It means you can't catch it. You can't catch whatever they got out there.
No.
You unstoppable. Go and do God's work. If you really got to do God's work, stop being afraid. Don't be afraid of these people. They ain't real. They fictitious.
They are fictitious.
You
people.
real. You the real one.
Right.
But they switched it around. So
Yeah.
don't listen to them. You can't die. Your soul is eternal.
Right.
They can break the building down if they want to, but they can't
Mhm.
break your soul down because you're going to just tap back, come back, get a different body. It's okay. It's all
Yep.
good. It's all good in these streets.
Yeah. So we're out.
We tired.
It's been a long day, y'all. Definitely go back, rewatch this video,
Yeah.
share it as much as possible.
Tell people in the church, let them know you don't need
care.
a 501c3.
No.
Stop letting these people control you and rule you.
Yeah, keep sharing it. We don't care if YouTube delete this.
We don't care. We're going to make another
Share
one.
it. Share it
We'll make
as
another
much
one.
as you possibly can. Share this video.
Yes.
And we are going to be bringing out a lot more truth because, like
Right.
I said, I've been doing some hella studies. There's some things that have come to light to me, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Yes. And you know my baby don't curse that much. So,
So-
if he curse, you know it's serious.
Yeah, it is mind blowing, and it's part of the reason why we really hadn't done a live in
Yeah,
the past
we've
few
been doing
days.
some
because-
research, guys. We've been learning and doing research and trying to really leave this matrix alone. Like be like they say, you know, you are in the world, right?
But not of
but
it.
not of it.
So right now we are really going through the process of separation from this matrix, and actually not even so much separation.
Not so
I
much
take that back.
separation.
We're learning how to navigate in this matrix.
Right, and not get doo-doo on us.
Yes, we're learning how to navigate and to be in a position to help others.
Right, be able to navigate also. And that's all it is about. It's just knowing when to turn left, when to turn right, so you don't get into accidents, you don't crash, you know?
Right, right.
You gotta learn how to drive or travel without crashing. And that's all we're trying to show you how to do. Is how to get around these streets without crashing into stuff. That's it. That's the bottom line.
Yep. That's it. All right, y'all. It's late.
We're tired.
We love y'all. We'll be back again soon. We promise.
We didn't want to. We hope
it won't be that long again.
If we hurt anybody's feelings,
Please forgive us.
Please forgive us.
Please forgive us.
We apologize from the bottom of our heart, but we have to tell this truth, guys. We gotta get it out.
Yeah.
Have to. It's our job. We doing our job because we ain't got no 501c3.
No. So we can say and do what we want to say. It's called the First Amendment.
Freedom of speech, baby.
Yes. So we love y'all. Peace out.